rappers, they're able to express themselves through their words and their music, and they try to find a different way to express themselves, and that may be through sports. For us, we express ourselves through sports in a different way is music. So it's kind of a little bit of contrasting, but I think that's probably why.
Hi, Kirk, welcome to The Vibes. This is where we talk about everything on and off the field, a little bit more off. A lot of people always disregard the human aspect of players, but I had the opportunity to talk to your lady, Ozzy, and then to one of your homies, Gino Littles, and I'm rocking one of your hoodies from your fashion brand, your clothing line and whatnot, and I heard you got a little bit of interest in business. So let me show you what your lady said about your interest in it.
But I think it was a combination of him being so passionate about fashion and then also his mindset of the business side of things. Like he's been really into he's been reading a lot of finance books lately.
So is it more of a creative aspect with the combination of the business side of it, or what truly inspired you to say, what, I'm trying to make my own brand?
Yeah, I think for me, it definitely wasn't, strictly business for me. The reason why I created Aire Libre was I wanted to be different in a sense of, every athlete has the opportunity to create their own merchandise. I like to express myself in different ways, and, one of the things I always do is through fashion. Like all my, game day outfits and whatnot, like those are calculated, they're picked out for a reason just based off of how I'm feeling that week. And so, I wanted my merchandise to do the same thing, and I just wanted to be different and actually, create something that some people could wear, to a game, they could wear every day, they could wear out. Like, you can either dress it up, dress it down, and just kind of reciprocate how I feel when it comes to like choosing out clothes and whatnot. So that was the reason why I created it.
With the fashion side of things, Christian always was real fashionable, and as he kind of just went through college into the NFL, he started picking up different things, networking. He did it the right way, and he was fortunate enough to link with people in LA that helped him build his brand. And it's great, man. I mean, he has a brilliant mind, does all the designs for it.
Again, you mentioned it, Aire Libre. I said in Spanish, being Hispanic and whatnot, but that's the street you grew up on. Ozzy was talking to me about how some of your biggest memories came from that street. Gino was saying how, every design, you were passionate about it. You were, involved with the creative process of it. How do those two components, merge in a way, like the memories from where you grew up in and then the creative process of it?
Well, it tells a story, and that's the main thing. And I feel like that's the key to a successful clothing brand, is to tell a story. And I think for me, when I go and shop or I'm looking for new brands to wear, that's a big thing for me, is like the story behind it, the story behind either the collection or the brand itself. And I think that was the biggest thing for me, is I'm just telling my story. That's the street I grew up on. I'm from Arizona, born and raised. The Southwestern culture has honestly, risen, has been, booming in a sense of, the culture and how fashion has been able to take it. Because, you look at Kanye West did, he took a lot of that like desert, like Southwestern feel to it, and it's huge over in China. So just being able to incorporate all those components and try to add it, into, my brand and to make it unique, it's cool.
And you always see players show up trying to swag out on game days and whatnot. Why is it important for players to, come dressed up, come show the creative process, in those 30 seconds that I'm talking about?
The saying, it's true, is, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And I believe in that. There's something about waking up on Sunday and, getting in the fit that you've been waiting to wear, all week, shoot, if not all year, because some guys, in the off season, it's just our time to kick it, just chill, you wear a couple fits here and there, but game day, all eyes are on you. You got cameras, it's a statement. And so especially if you have a big game.
Bro, you got an outfit you've been waiting to wear for a whole year just for a specific
I accumulate, especially when I go to LA in the summer, like I'll buy some things where I know, okay, I'm waiting for game day to wear this stuff. Like I'm not touching it, I'm not, wearing it to a dinner or anything.
What you wearing on prime time? Show up on a Monday night football game. You gotta, nationally televised, and you gotta bring the fit. What's your go-to right there?
Well, last year when we played Dallas, I wore a Fear of God Zegna collab. I think I have it on my page, and I wore some black glasses. They're like retro. They kind of remind me of Men in Black. Whenever I whenever there's a primetime game, I always try to dress more like, strictly business, and that's the energy that I'm trying to, portray, and just something clean cut. Usually probably white and black. Keep it simple, but keep it slick.
All right, before we move on to the next topic, rank yourself in terms of who has the most swag, who's the most creative player on the team in terms of showing up to game day. Where do you rank yourself out of the whole squad?
I mean, I gotta put myself top three.
Top three. Who's in your top three then?
I would say I'm in there. I would say K1's in there for sure. AJ Green has some good swag too. Yeah. AJ Green has some good swag too. Hop is very creative. And I give credit to guys that do it with no designer. You got somebody who's personal shopping for you to say, hey, wear this. I kind of just.
Is that shade, bro? You throwing shade?
No, it's not shade. I would say other people would agree with me too. Like, if you have somebody who's just giving you clothes to wear, then where's the creative coming from you? If you're able to go in your closet and just pick some stuff out and come to the game with some heat, I'll give you a little bit more credit.
They're relating to them at that particular time in their life. But I think that's one thing where music can connect athletes, but also we all know every rapper wants to be an athlete too. So they love the athletes too. And I feel like a lot of athletes want to be rappers. So it's synonymous.
It's synonymous. Rappers want to be athletes, athletes want to be rappers. How does music play a role in your day-to-day life, whether it's off season, in season? Like, why do you think players want to be rappers and rappers want to be players,
It's an interesting dynamic. It's crazy. I don't know how or why, but it is. It's crazy. I remember my rookie year, I had the opportunity to meet Drake, and it was a cool moment for me. He was here on Scorpion Tour, and I remember the person who I was with asked him, like, what would you be doing if you weren't Drake? And I remember he said, I'll probably try to go play in the NBA. And it's just funny, hearing that his immediate next kind of plan B was to go play in the NBA. We all know he loves playing basketball and whatnot, and you see a lot of guys in the NFL rapping and they have their own music, but I think it's just the same way. Like, rappers, they're able to express themselves through their words and their music, and they've tried to find a different way to express themselves, and that may be through sports. For us, we express ourselves through sports in a different way is music, so it's kind of a little bit of contrasting, but I think that's probably why.
Why do you think Drake has the impact that he has on sports?
I think just lyrically and just production wise, I think he just puts out stuff that the people love, and he's been doing it so well for so long, and he's chasing greatness and is always in the conversation of being great. I consider him great, and I think that's where athletes can appreciate him and what he does is we all chase greatness, and there's a form of perfection that we'll probably never reach, but we're always chasing that, and I believe that's what Drake does, and at least I know he talks about it. He talks about being the top dog, and people always trying to doubting him and doesn't know if he can stay at the top for as long, and he keeps putting it out, and he's on the top no matter what. And so I think that's the one thing, at least I know for me, that I appreciate is that battle for always being great and trying to be number one over everybody.
He is punctual. Now, it doesn't matter if we're on vacation. It doesn't matter if we're going to dinner. He will be on time. He might not be 10 minutes. I mean, football is different, but I'm talking about personal life. He might not be 10 minutes early if we're on vacation, but I bet you if we have dinner at 7, he's going to be there at 7.
Let's start off with the punctual part of it. I know your dad was in the military, but why are you so punctual, man? Can we be a little bit late? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, what made you that way?
Not on my clock. It's funny, my dad being in the military, you would think that growing up, we were always on time. We were always 10 minutes early. It was the opposite. I was always late to football practice, because of him. He was working or whatever. And, I get it. He had a lot on his plate and whatnot, but I was always late. And I hated being late to practice. And it's just something that was all right, when it's I'm an adult and I'm on my time, I'm never gonna be late. And I'm the same way now when I come to the facility, I'm always at practice or at the facility an hour and a half before practice, make sure I give myself enough time. And it's just a respect for other people's time. That's why when we're on vacation, I get on everybody. I'm you better be at dinner at 7 because I'm not waiting. I want to eat.
But you got a lady, bro. You know they be late sometimes, taking
hey,
their time getting ready and whatnot.
I gotten smart though. I know how to play the smart game. Now I just tell her if dinner's at 7:30, I tell her it's at 7 or 6:30, and then we're good.
When he's hungry, I feel like he literally like can't think straight. Like he needs to eat.
Bro, I think I can talk for a lot of people that when we hungry, we can't think straight. But some people play it off a little bit better. Not you though. Like,
not me. You can definitely tell when I'm hungry. It's my whole. Usually I'm like this. I'm pretty smooth, constant. Like don't show too much emotion. But when I'm hungry, it's a wrap. And it started from when I was a baby. My mom always tells a story like she can never feed me fast enough. Like she'd be shoveling food to me because I would just start crying if she didn't give me
more type of thing.
So I guess it's just the way I was born.
He thought about the game of football in a whole different light, and he was carrying himself in a whole different light. And I saw that, and it translated to A&M, and then it translated to the Cardinals, and I feel like it's going to keep translating through his whole NFL career, however long he plays.
We all know that you got to have a certain amount of dedication to the game to get to the level you're at. But what about football really ignited that fire in you that made you say, you know what, I'm not only going to succeed at the high school level, but I'm going to make it all the way to the NFL?
You know, I figured out early, that football is what I loved. It's my passion. It's why, God put me on this earth, is to play this game and, show my passion and my dedication. And so it's taken me places that obviously I've never, would have thought, and I know it can take me even further. And so that's just, the way I view it, and just why I just approach it, so different, just because, I know it's bigger than me, and it can take me places that, I can never imagine.
Hey, before we wrap it up, I can't end this interview without asking, man, you've been balling out, bro. Like, what's been key for you this specific year? You're in a more comfortable role, you're in the slot a little bit more. How's that improved your game?
Yeah, just like you mentioned, playing back in the slot, my natural position, and just, not having to think. That's a big thing for me this year, is just going out there and executing. And, the most important part is just contributing in any part that I can to help win games, because we're on a mission that's bigger than stats and touchdowns. We're trying to go to the playoffs and win a Super Bowl. So.
All right, Christian Kirk, appreciate you joining the Vibes.
Yep. Thank you.
Dope convo. We'll catch you later, bro.